Hey everyone, it's Alex here. If you've ever stood in front of a pool pump looking at the endless list of specs and wondering whether the next upgrade will actually lower your electric bill or just sit on a shelf gathering dust, stick around. I'm going to walk through the real-world pros and cons of the Pentair IntelliFlo3 variable speed and flow pump, and by the end of this video you should be able to decide if it's the right fit for your backyard setup. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about why a pool owner might be hesitant about spending a few $100s on a newer pump. The main draw for most of us is energy savings. The claim is up to 90% reduction, which sounds huge, but the actual numbers depend a lot on how you run your system. A lot of people have old single-speed pumps that run all day at full blast, and they see a noticeable rise in their utility bills. The IntelliFlo3 promises a slower speed, regulated flow, and a proprietary flow technology that supposedly keeps the pool circulating efficiently. The question is, does that technology translate into everyday savings, and does it make a difference for pools of different sizes? I did a little digging into the product's background and what Pentair advertises. The pump comes in 2 horsepower options, 1.5 HP and 3.0 HP, so you have the choice to match it to the size of your pool, the length of your plumbing runs, and the head pressure you need to overcome. The higher-end 3.0 HP version is rated at a WEF, water efficiency factor, of 7.1, which is a metric that the Department of Energy uses to compare pump efficiency. In plain English, the higher the WEF, the less energy the pump uses for the same amount of water moved. That's a solid indicator that the pump can indeed be more efficient than older models, but it also means you need to size it correctly. Oversizing can actually reduce the efficiency gains you're hoping for. Now, who should consider buying the IntelliFlo3? If you have a medium to large pool, say 15,000 gallons or more, and you've noticed that your current pump runs constantly, a variable speed pump like this can bring your runtime down to a few hours a day without sacrificing circulation. The app integration is another plus. The Pentair Home app lets you set schedules, monitor energy usage, and adjust flow rates from your phone. For tech-savvy owners who like the convenience of a touchscreen control panel, the optional Pentair screen can replace the traditional manual switch, meaning you can tweak settings without having to climb down to the pump room. If you're already in the Pentair ecosystem, filter, heater, lighting, the ecosystem integration feels seamless, and the communication between devices can reduce the need for manual adjustments. Conversely, if you have a small above-ground pool or a modest in-ground spa that only needs a modest flow, the value proposition gets murkier. A 1.5 HP pump will still offer variable speed, but the cost savings might be marginal compared to the upfront expense. In that case, a reputable single-speed pump that's already well matched to your pool could actually be a better financial decision. Also, if you're not comfortable dealing with a little bit of extra wiring or you're not keen on learning a new app, the learning curve could feel like an unnecessary hassle. Let's get into the practical strengths. The most tangible benefit I observed from people who have installed similar variable speed pumps is the ability to dial in a low-flow mode that still keeps the water moving enough to prevent algae growth, but draws far less power. That translates into real-world savings on your monthly bill. Some users have reported reductions of 4,050% after switching from a single-speed pump. The proprietary flow technology appears to be a design that reduces turbulence inside the pump housing, which can mean less wear over time and a quieter operation. In residential installations where the pump is in a basement or utility closet, that reduction in noise can be noticeable, especially at lower speeds. On the downside, the IntelliFlo3 isn't a plug-and-play replacement. The variable speed controller needs to be programmed, and while the app makes it easy to set schedules, you do have to spend a few minutes figuring out the ideal flow rates for your pool size and filtration system. If you miss that setup step, you could end up with too low a flow, which might trigger your filter's pressure switch and cause the system to shut down more often than you'd like. In addition, the pump's size and weight mean that installation isn't a weekend DIY project for most homeowners. You'll likely need a qualified plumber or electrician to handle the wiring and ensure the pump is mounted correctly. Another practical consideration is the warranty and service network. Pentair is a well-known brand, and they offer a decent warranty on the pump motor and electronics, but you'll need to register the unit after purchase to activate it. If you're in a region where Pentair service reps are scarce, getting a